Lauren Cannon back again. I promised you I would flip through this while I was looking at these books, and I forgot to, so let's do that really quick. What your preschooler needs to know. Let's see, and like I said, I already think I know, but this is kind of interesting. It has some poems, and a lot of people are saying, oh, we're so getting this. It has history, science, stories, songs, art, and what parents of preschoolers need to know. And this is kind of interesting. Choosing a preschool for your child. Is your child ready for kindergarten? Reading aloud with a child. Enjoying music with your child. So, it does give you some tips and tricks if you are not going to keep them at home. There's a little intro, but look at these beautiful pictures, you guys. I'm in love with this. So it has Polly Put the Kettle On, a lot of the classics you'll see in here. Diddle Diddle Dumpling My Son John, Rain Rain Go Away. That's one we're working on now. But this is not a book I would hand my child and say, here, go read this, or I would just read aloud to her right now because she will rip these pages for sure. She's all about that. But these have a lot of your classic nursery rhymes, but it tells you at the top that the poem is teaching beginning sounds. Jillicky, jollicky, jellicky, gee. Peter Piper picked a peck. That's beginning sounds. So if you're learning beginning sounds, that's a good thing to do. Finger play. Help your child follow the movements that go with this poem. Touch index finger to one of the hand of the thumb of the other and in alternating hands. So you know how you do, they say incy wincy. I was taught incy bitsy. It drives me nuts. But you do this, and this is a good finger play, fine motor thing to do with them. Open, shut them. And this is a song actually online with super simple songs she likes to watch. Here is the Beehive. Where is Thumpkin? We were just watching that today on TV. This little piggy went to market, 1 potato, 2 potato, 2 little blackbirds. You get the idea. And then there's songs, and these all support them. They have rhyming words in them, making noises, move around, all the things that preschoolers should be doing during the day when they're at preschool or daycare. These are things that they should do, and there's some read aloud stories here for them that you could read aloud. The City and the Mouse and the Country Mouse. And then here's history, and this is very short, super simple. First Americans, the American Indians lived simply eating fish they caught, animals they hunted, plants and berries that they found growing wild. It's very basic, very skim the surface, couple, maybe 5 pages max. George Washington, the first president, Betsy Ross, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., animals, and this goes into science. So it's not like I would use this mega, like, oh, this is it. But this is something to help you if you're like, I don't even know what I'm going to say or do. This will help you with kind of how to get going and what they should know. And you could do a lot of this in the car. You could discuss with them. You could discuss this on the go, take this on a trip with you. There's some art in here to discuss with them. But a lot of this I was like, well, I mean, we need to do this, but I'm not going to sit down and go, I'm going to read this whole thing to you. That's a little overwhelming. Right now we're doing picture books to keep it very simple for her. But we are learning these songs and these rhymes and these poems and things. So, I mean, as we go along, I might pull this out and do it. But I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to focus on these reading lessons. We've got some tracing to do. We've got lots of fine motor and gross motor skills that we need to perfect or get better, not perfect, but get better at. And then I've got those Scholastic Pre-K Jumbo workbooks for her to go through and do some things out of. So we'll have plenty to do. That we're just going to start learning some of these poems and rhymes and songs that are in here through TV and through just doing them together as a family, maybe on the road, in the car, or at work. And then there is a couple science things, like there's a couple, light helps us see. Let's see, what was it that I was going to pull out of science? I'm trying to remember. Water can take different forms. So not this year, this coming school year, but when she turns 4, we're going to do a water theme. So I might pull that out for that. Or just not pull it out, but use that page to read and introduce. I think this will be great for introducing things. So like if we're going to learn about George Washington, I'll go back here to George Washington and just read aloud those pages to her. But we're going to do a lot more in-depth study of George Washington and actually the true story of the Native Americans and there's some classes on Outschool for this too. And then like this has plants have different parts. This will be a great introduction that I can read to her and show her the picture of. and we can talk about seeds and the stages of growing and all of that. So I think this is a good intro book to pre-K. But I wouldn't necessarily pull it out and use it to teach from. I would just say, oh, you need to know that. Let's go do that thing. It's like a checklist, I think, more than anything. So it's not a bad book, but I definitely think you should add more to it. But that's my opinion. You do you, what works for you. These are all really good starts to pre-K if you're just getting started. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click that little bell and like this video so that when you come back, it'll notify you to come back and see me next week. Bye, guys.